Petri dish. The Petri dish. The Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish. The Petri dish. The Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here. And it's an increasing love for strange auxiliary instruments.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think I did a full kazoo solo last podcast.
See, now that's a new kazoo.
New kazoo, yeah.
It's also the new bar opening up in Midtown. The new kazoo.
The new kazoo. It's made of only tin roofs. So when the wind blows through it, it sounds like a kazoo the whole time. The whole building, for the whole block.
Yeah.
Just one low rumbling kazoo noise. It's very ominous.
I like it. You know what? I would go there. I would check it out. See what's going on at the new kazoo. Better than
the old kazoo.
Yeah, that thing sucked.
And over in Midtown.
Goddamn old kazoos. Out with the old, in with the kazoo. You know what I'm saying?
I fucking hate it. I hate that. Nope. Nope. Take it back. Take it back right now.
No, it's out there, dude. Can't take it back.
Yeah, guys. This week we've got Sam Corbin on the podcast.
All alone, just me and you.
Just me and you, soloing it right in half. I mean, I've been doing the podcast solo the last 2 weeks. Just because either I'll get home on Monday night and be like, well, fucking nobody's here.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm here. Is I felt bad for you.
Thank you.
I thought you needed some friendship in your podcasting life.
I've tried podcasting on Sundays too, but then Nick's just like, no, I don't want to do that. Then Austin's always at work. And I was like, well, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on,
Oh,
Sam.
no problem.
Checking in on me.
Yeah,
Making sure that things are good.
Yeah, you seem to... You seem to spiral a little bit on your own.
I frequently spiral at all times.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in one of those right now. But mostly I'm just thinking it's lack of sleep and also too much caffeine. And
what's keeping you up at night?
Honestly, not much. I'm very good at sleeping.
Oh, then how are you?
But metaphorically,
okay.
I'm just tired. Well, actually, no, I didn't sleep good last night because I went over to Sacramento to hang out with my girlfriend all weekend, and it was cool. It was great, wonderful time, but also...
Now, this is a new development. Does she live in Sacramento?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she lives in Sacramento, and it's like just close enough to where I'm like, oh yeah, I can go there for a weekend, hang out, and then it's far enough away where I'm like, fuck, when do I come back? Because I don't want to be driving if it's possibly snowy through the pass at 10, 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
Because then I'm just going to get sleepy and if I can crash off a mountain. But then I'm also like, well, I have to work today.
Well, you and her could just meet up at fucking Ron's house. What was that guy's name?
Fucking Ray.
Yeah, you just meet up at Ray's house.
Well, that's further away from both of us. That's like an hour and a half from me and 3 hours from her. That'd be terrible.
All right.
But we should one of these days.
I'd like to hang out with Ray again.
God, when we were going up there for Savage Henry this last festival, I stopped at the Chevron to try to say hi to him, but it was closed because they were doing that roving power outage thing because of the fires. So there was just no one there. I was like, fuck.
Damn.
I wanted to see him and just say hi and maybe buy some chips. I don't fucking know. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I was going to be like, hey, we might have died if it wasn't for you. All right, cool.
Yeah, shouts out to Ray, dude.
Yeah.
That guy was awesome.
Ray is pretty much like the blind oracle that set the mood for how my entire 2019 went.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's your spirit animal?
He was my Greek chorus for everything. It was just
and then you got a cat.
Yeah, I got a cat, and I frequently yell at it for being smelly. Just
do you watch weird live cop shows now?
Honestly, I've been getting a lot more into being surveilled by cops.
Yeah, they checking out what you're doing?
They're always just harassing me on Twitter, mostly just their coffee shops.
Man, that's still going on.
No, it was just the one time, and now I see them. They're on Uber Eats now, and I think about every once in a while just ordering a fuckload of things and then canceling it.
Resistance.
So they start to make it,
and
then I just cancel it.
Yeah, there you go.
And be like, hey, fuck you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this is how I beat them through very, very casual resistance. I'm not even going to leave my couch to cost the money.
Right?
Because that's how you really get at the people is through the pocketbook.
Yeah. Hit them where it hurts.
Or if we're going for like the old style of like Roman warfare, it's you have to cut off the supplies from the city so that the people starve, and in turn, that starving makes them want to rally against the king.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. So,
you ever read The Art of War?
I haven't. I've heard a lot of passages from it quoted in other shit though. Dude,
it's pretty good. A lot of it's like obvious shit that like got taken. People listened to it because it made sense. But then there's like he listed like 7 different kinds of spies that you need, and I'm like, wow, that seems pretty complicated. Yeah. When the other shit was like, be uphill and like obvious shit like that, and he's also like, oh well, you need a spy that pretends to be the opposition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need a pretend double agent.
Right? Yeah. He got real into that.
I like to think that there was like a lost chapter of he's like, make sure you have the salad fork next to the entree fork and have the dessert spoon later, not with the regular table setting. Teaching you how to fold napkins for proper courting of other kings. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, napkin folding is very important.
Actually, fun fact, people don't know, Sun Tzu was actually the Marie Kondo of his time. People just only remember the war stuff. He was very good at tidying up. His castle was very clean. Oh, fuck.
Damn.
He was always just going into people's castles and being like, ooh, you being the king of this doesn't spark joy, and then he'd murder them. Take their castle.
Clean your bedroom. I think Jordan Peterson is like Marie Kondo for Republicans. Clean your bedroom. Like, okay. I guess that's what people are responding to. The people that like you just have dirty bedrooms.
Honestly,
and that's enough for them to jump on board with your horseshit.
Really, if everyone could just clean their bedroom, read some Ayn Rand, and just really like think about how much trans people don't deserve rights, they would really start seeing that Jordan Peterson is the
what
right.
If Marie Kondo was also into all that shit?
Marie Kondo's hard right. It's just the translator just doesn't say half the shit.
Yeah, it's just all stems from a clean bedroom, and then you build from there.
She's sitting there, be like, as you can see, the purity of the sheets shows you exactly how your bloodline should be. And the translator's like, yeah, this is how you fold a fitted sheet. They're really just like toning it down. That'd be so good.
Dude, it's always funny like what type of gurus like appeal to like what type of person.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I've ever really found one person that I'm like, yes, this shit right here. This is what I'm into.
Like at this point, like I'm like, well, I love funches. Does that count? Like, I'm like, is that the guru I'm going to set up my life? He's like, make a vision board and be nice to people. I'm like, fuck yeah, all right, cool. I still didn't make the vision board, and I'm working on the being nice to people part, but
getting better.
Yeah, I believe in the spirit of funches. I've found myself now also starting to adopt some of his speech patterns, which is unfortunate.
You know what's funny is that he talks exactly the same way as Ben Carson. It's just kind of this nice, soft-spoken, you can trust me, I'm not scary.
I don't believe in climate change.
Oh, damn. I feel like we're getting close to political shit, but just staying.
But also, who the fuck gives a shit about Ben Carson?
I know.
He ran for president once, and everyone was just like, whoa, this brain surgeon is dumb as shit. They just forgot about him. Yep, that didn't work out. I've been getting increasingly political in my brain and trying not to be out loud.
Uh-huh.
But it's just like something has just been catching at me right now. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's
all of it. Yeah, it's just everything.
It's all happening right now, of course.
It's like literally everything happening plus the amount of work that I've been putting in at my job. It's like all of it's getting to me where I'm just like every part of society is just kind of pissing me off right now.
What part of your work is fucking with you that
just way? The whole idea of a salary job and how I'm like, now that I think, like, it used to be the dream for me to be like, ooh, I could work salary and that way my hours are, just whatever. And now I'm like, oh no, they just bought me. They bought a human. That's what it is I'm like, oh fuck, I'm a slave. I'm just a well-paid slave. Like, I belong to this company.
So do you find yourself working more than 40 hours a week?
Yes, free. This whole year so far.
Probably when you negotiated your salary, it was assuming that it would be only about 40
hours a week.
Yeah, there you go.
And now it's just creeping up a little more, closer to 50 on average. Every once in a while, pulling a nice 12-hour day also, just to really.
Yeesh.
Yes. It's
That's
not my favorite.
Well,
I mean,
how much longer do you have on that contract or whatever you signed?
Well, I mean, it's like I can renegotiate whenever if I want.
And
but the thing is like I know this company is going to grow soon.
Okay.
Because defense spending is not going anywhere.
It sure isn't.
Yeah, and so this was a smaller company that is now hitting it big, especially under this political atmosphere. And with the things that I see in the company, I'm like, okay, I can either beat myself up for the next year and a half and then end up in a really good position after that, or I can be like, society's probably going to collapse in 10 years anyway. Why slave over this right now when I could be tending to my chickens, making bread, and hoarding guns? I just...
Oh fuck!
When I get caught in the crossfire, I don't want to be the one without the thing to fire back.
Damn, dude, you're really going down a lane here.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm like the amount of political that I'm at in my brain is, oh fuck, I'm a wage slave. How do I overthrow the world? In my head, I'm like, how would I start burning it all down? It was getting so bad last week before. I'm so glad I took a half day last Friday at work because it was getting to the point. I believe I said the phrase crypto-fascist warmongering.
Oh.
In my defense job.
Pro or anti?
I'm not going to say either because I'm not supposed to be making political statements like that, especially at my job.
Oh, yeah. Keep that shit at home.
Exactly. And so I remember saying that and going like, ooh, I need to go home. I was like, I can't be here anymore. I am literally at the end of my rope just saying shit.
Damn, dude.
I was making a whole big to-do about if I die here or if I have a heart attack in this office, don't call me an ambulance.
Wow.
Because I was the amount of coffee I'm drinking is...
Oh.
Yeah.
It's too much ups and downs, I think.
Yeah.
With the coffee.
I'm in a bad spot right now.
Oh, man. Let me talk you through it. What do you need? What can we do to make your shit better?
I don't know. Because I'm very externally motivated. The what people say and think to me does matter, even though I pretend like I don't let that get to me ever. It very much does matter. But every scenario I have in my head, I don't want anyone helping me with anything. And I don't know what that is in me to never want to look weak, even though my persona to the outside world isn't exactly strong. That's not my archetype.
Yeah, the entire thrust of what you've done artistically is to be as vulnerable as possible.
Yeah,
so what do you maybe go the other way with
I don't know what machine I'm raging against anymore, I think is the problem.
Yeah.
I was like my initial push in creativity and just my entire ethos as a creative person in every facet has just been fuck the normal male archetype. But also I'm stronger than you. I will show you how soft a man can be. I'm aggressively soft. That has been my entire thing.
Aggressively soft.
Exactly.
Blue Chew.
Yeah, speaking of, this podcast is sponsored by Boner Pills. Just kidding. But yeah, so I just I don't know how to either turn the marketing now into be oh, you know what, never mind. Or whether I continue on that crusade because I don't know, because to me, I like to be the person that I am within society as it exists now.
Okay.
I'm believing less and less that this society will hold together as it currently is, because all great empires fall, and I have just enough of a god complex to think that I will be within the time that it does.
Okay. I mean, there's a couple signals pointing toward, not for the world. It's like the whole thing, like the George Carlin thing about, like, we gotta save the Earth. It's like, yeah, the Earth will be fine. I feel like the same way as an American. It's like, oh no, shit'll continue when this falls apart for us.
Yeah, everything continues. It'll just like something will just suck, and there will be a massive shift. I feel like things are already currently like, tectonic plates shifting, and then earthquakes all over the place are happening, but metaphorically in politics.
Yeah,
and I just feel like it's reached a critical mass to the point where like either one of these parties is going to collapse in on itself, and either some sort of like fascist 1984 style regime is going to take over, and it's going to be very puritanical and shitty for a while, like it was in the 50s, or it's going to go so blue that there's going to be a civil war from all like the dumb fucking rednecks that exist that think the Confederate flag isn't about slavery.
Yeah, I kind of, I kind of feel you on that. Like
if we try to give people health care, somebody's going to want to shoot people about it because they care more about taxes than keeping people alive.
Well, my whole thing has always been like, I guess I'm kind of a reluctant Bernie guy because I'm like, he's the only one talking about like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do all this crazy war, and then we could afford to give the people what they deserve. And everyone else is just saying, oh, I'll do this and do that, and never once even talk about ending all these fucking crazy shits we do all across the fucking world. You talk about Rome, it's like, oh...
expanded too far beyond itself.
Would it have saved Rome if they fucking gave their people health care? Nah, probably not. Corruption and overextending yourself militarily.
Yeah.
Couple similarities there.
The only person that has ever worked out for is Britain, and then we could argue that it hasn't ever really worked out for them, considering the massive French and Spanish influence that they have received through time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think here's the crazy thing is I feel like I'm a decent dude and I work hard. Shit's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. Like whatever happens, like I'm not looking for a handout. Maybe my life being nicer would be fun, but I don't know. I feel like the type of person I am will be fine, white, no matter what. No, but I mean that just...
As just like regular American will survive just because like...
Yeah, I feel like the two things... For all like the woke horseshit that they talk about, and then... Trump won because he was promising regular people to make their lives incrementally better.
Yep.
He didn't do it, but that's what gets people elected. And as much as we want to talk about fucking, all these fringe side issues that it's like, morally you're right about, but I don't know.
It's just... in the grand scheme of things, so many of these things don't matter. Like, day to day, if we're talking about survival, like, it's going to be fine for most of us, but also shit can be bad. Like, if we keep doing terrible shit to people overseas and or within our own borders, what with the whole locking of children in cages thing, like, at what point does the rest of the world look at us and go... that's bad and we need to help now.
I kind of have come to this weird thing, and I was freaking out for a little while about it, but I kind of came to this realization we're kind of sort of the bad guy in the whole world.
Yeah.
And we just make dope music and cool shoes so people give us a pass because, whatever.
Yeah.
We have black people here and they make cool shit for people to enjoy. And then everyone else just kind of gets to export American cool shit that black people came up with, and that's all that America has to stand on is like culturally. I don't know. Our art is better.
Yeah, if the U.S. didn't have the culture that it had, the amount of the amount of warmongering and strange industrial overreach that it's had on the entire globe would have made everyone go like, hey, whoa, no, fuck these dudes, like a long time ago.
Right, yeah.
But it's just like, oh, but we also want to keep all the movie executives and song people and all the other shit going. Because no one wants all of their entertainment to be fucking British.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to somebody, I forget who it was, but they were talking about how like we want to do this like inclusivity, what do they call it, representation stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, the powers that be will go ahead and do that because that's what people want, quote unquote, but really they're still the ones in power. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, they'll make a Black James Bond if that'll keep everyone quiet. But really, they're still the ones in power, and they'll fucking make these changes because they don't care. They still make all the fucking money. Yeah, I guess there's some actors that get this one role or that role or whatever, but yeah, it's the same. It's the same horseshit. They just know that if they appease the right people enough, they get to maintain their standing as like the fucking ruling class of the entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
That's what kind of makes me mad about everyone like jerking off Ricky Gervais about his amazing speech against all these Hollywood phonies. I'm like, he's one of them.
Yeah, I know.
These are all the rich people gathering at a rich people event, paying each other to be rich and complaining about how rich each other are.
Right.
Televising it so we can talk about it, and we're all still just playing into it.
I don't know if I agree with you that what Ricky Gervais did is part of that. Like, it seems...
It's not, but he's the exact face they want. Ricky Gervais is notoriously counterculture, quote unquote. You know, like they knew he would make a scene considering the climate. If they wanted someone to host that was neutral, they would have picked Tom Hanks again, you know?
Right. Oh, I understand what you're saying. If you're saying that they... okay, is this going to be who comes after us? We can let him come after us.
Yeah.
But... Dave Chappelle says some shit that's not acceptable, you know, and everyone goes after him.
Well,
so it's like, I don't know.
It's just because Dave Chappelle is like I mean, he's the new Bill Cosby. Like, that's just how it goes.
He's the new Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
I don't think he raped anybody.
Not yet. He's got time.
I guess, yeah, you're right.
It's just like, okay, they're like, okay, we need a black comedian who's going to be the new center of this culture. And the current culture of all entertainment is counterculture or being against things or being offensive, you know, like. So, of course, he's going to get up there, say some shit, and everyone can react to it because that's...
So you're saying it's like controlled opposition? They're just like, this is acceptable for him to outrage us with?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is all fucking falling apart. My thing is like when the left is the people that are not for free speech anymore. It's like, well, what are we even doing? We're not the anti-war party anymore. We're not the free speech people anymore. Like, what are we even hanging our hat on here? Like, what is this thing? I think it's like that's become the establishment, and so you're gonna sound a little bit Republican-y if you're not making all the same noises as they're used to hearing.
But that's the thing that's fucking everything up. Is like the same way that indie labels that exist for music are not indie. They're all fucking controlled by major labels and they have the same distribution. You know, but they have the name indie label and smaller bands get put on there. You know, like we have the same thing going on with culture and counterculture. You know, like we have these people speaking the truth and then we have these other fringe groups as the opposition, and then people higher up in the data gathering game can try to pit these two against each other algorithmically to see who they can get the most clicks out of. Because as long as we stay distracted, we stop living our lives long enough to gain revenue for them. You know, like
yeah. I don't know if I agree or disagree with you on that because it's such a complicated idea.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where like I don't even know if I agree with myself. I just know that I'm being profited off of 24/7 no matter what, and there's no way to stop it.
Right.
Like I guarantee there's 5 apps on my phone right now tracking where I am and selling it to somebody.
Oh yeah.
And I can't I can turn it off, but they're going to know the last location to turn it off when and what I said before I did it. You know, like
that's true. Yeah, so that becomes a data point. I've heard there's like these companies that will
erase you from the grid.
Well, you'll voluntarily give them your data so it doesn't go to these giant monoliths of these companies and then if they have it, it becomes worthless. So your shit is actually kind of more free because they keep it anonymous rather than letting it be specific to you to all these giant companies. I don't know if that's just another way for them to grow into a giant company or if they're actually doing something good. But
and that's the thing that we can never gauge, because at the end of the day, we can have one company say, we're here because we're a tech company that wants to secure everyone's data. And then they get real into securing data. They collect a bunch of people's stuff. They're keeping it private. Facebook comes in and says, hey, you've built a great technology. We're actually working on a similar thing where we're trying to protect people's data. Maybe we could buy you out and also have that data. And they go, oh, that sounds great, because they're also trying to do the same mission of protecting this data we're securing. And then suddenly, again, Facebook has your data and they're selling it to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what I don't think I've bought anything from any advertisement I've seen, though.
Oh, I have.
Have you? Like, what have you seen advertised that you bought?
I bought that sweater of Elon Musk smoking weed on Joe Rogan, and then it turns into a fun Starscape. I bought that sweater.
Okay.
The Crocs. I bought the Crocs because of an ad that was like, these are only $7 now. And I'm like, all right.
Okay.
You know, like just my blue Supro guitar, that I don't have it here, but it's like a surf blue fiberglass guitar. I bought that because of a Facebook ad.
Yeah. My thing is like, I kind of think that shit that's actually dope doesn't need to advertise so much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Tesla ads all the time, but they're doing fucking great because they actually make something good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have ads saying, hey, go down on each other, because we do anyway, and it's awesome, so we don't have to fucking advertise like, hey, have you guys tried oral sex? It's like, no, we
figured it out.
Yeah.
And that is... I mean, that is a tactic for how advertisement works. Sriracha did the same thing. They've been a company for probably 100 years at this point, maybe even longer. Who the fuck knows? But they just made a quality product. They spent $0 on advertising, and then white people finally found it and rocketed it out there because they hit that stride.
Yeah.
But it's going to exist whether or not people like it or not, because they have already done that. Because people like it because it's a quality hot sauce. Yeah, it doesn't go on everything. It goes on Asian food.
I put it on a pizza.
Yeah,
I put it on eggs.
It goes on stuff.
Yeah. Well, but that's my whole thing. Is like, if you do something good enough for long enough, it just gets out there. You don't need to, like, whenever I see anyone advertising anything that's super hard, it's like, oh, it probably kind of sucks. You know how much fucking mail I get from Tom Steyer?
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, I can't. That's...
Of course you suck. You wouldn't... You're an environmentalist printing off fucking tons and tons.
Yeah, you're a quote-unquote self-made billionaire.
Yeah. Well, you made your money in fucking oil, and now you're trying to wash it by doing this. Yeah. Fuck Tom Steyer. There's so few of them that I'm not like, fuck you, you're corporate.
Yeah. Well, I also love the idea that there was a conspiracy that Tom Steyer paid all this shit to get on the debates just so he could meet Bernie.
Yeah, okay, good. Dude, I fucking love Bernie.
Me too.
The only thing is, like, I don't even agree with everything he wants to do, but he pisses off the fucking corporate media so much.
Yeah.
Everyone that we should hate hates him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm on board.
The fact that Hillary Clinton still won't shut the fuck up about how much she hates Bernie, and everyone's like, no one likes you! You only got close because Bernie tipped his hat and said, well, the DNC fucked me, so everyone please go vote for her.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for that, she would have gotten not even the popular vote either. It's so fucking crazy to me.
Dude, and the Pete Buttigieg stuff with the shadow and acronym. And...
He fucked himself because he was a perfectly fine, middle-of-the-road candidate, representing the gay community and the Midwest at the same time.
Gay people don't like him.
No, but gay people also don't like Milo Yiannopoulos, yet he gets to be part of the gay community. Going on podcasts and talking about how it's okay to fuck 14-year-olds. You know, like, shit's crazy.
I just see Pete as like this guy that if they were making politicians in a mold with this pinkish white goo, and then you stick a suit on him and they go, oh, this one's gay, make him kiss. And then that's all he is. He's not really, he doesn't stand for anything. He's just, they made a gay one of the same thing that's always been around.
Which is even better, because he has like all the hallmarks of a person we should respect.
I guess.
But it's just like, it seems too on brand, you know, like it seemed like they specifically went around the U.S. to go, fuck, who can we sell to these young people? And they were like, ooh, gay mayor who used to be in the military. And everyone's just like, all of those? Really? We want to go with all of them. And they're like, yeah, but his town fucking blows. Everyone's dying and everyone's homeless.
Damn. Yeah, that's the crazy thing is like when you go to San Francisco and it's like, oh, this is the most fucking liberal place in the world. Not really. Actually, it's controlled by tech billionaires. And there's a bunch of fucking homeless people.
Yeah.
So you don't get to keep that brand as like the bastion of the gay world.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Everything gets fucked up. Everything needs to change all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's what I like about Bernie is just he hasn't been, you know, like since for the last 70 years or whatever, he's been like, war is bad. Everyone deserves rights. No one should go hungry and no one should die just because they don't have money.
Right.
And everyone's been like, fuck you. What? And he's just like, all those things I said, you know, those same ones. And they're like, no, wait, Vietnam though. And he's like, yeah, no, that's bad. They're like, okay, but black people are dirty. He's like, no, you're wrong. They're like, okay, but gays will give you AIDS. He's like, again, you're wrong. And they're like, okay, but what about all that oil in Iraq, though? And he's like, again, bad. Leave the brown people alone. And still, no, everyone still doesn't get it. It's like we're finally just now starting to be like, well, maybe.
But that's the thing is everyone does get it.
Yeah, it's just whether or not they want to or not. It's whether they're willing to relinquish the power that they feel because we all feel connected.
There's
by
everyone,
this digital shit.
And then there's they.
Yeah.
And what they do is develop apps that are going to miscount his votes in Iowa. They don't even put him on the screen when they're listing how the candidates are doing. They hate him, which means I like him. And I'm into it. It's the same. It's the reason that Trump won.
Yeah.
Is because people were sick of the same old bullshit. And he didn't even have any good ideas. But people were just so sick of the bullshit that they're like, anything, please.
I was looking back on like Trump's original campaign and everything. He was trying so hard to be a populist. He was trying so hard to be like Bernie is. Going to people and being like, yeah, no, I'll save your factory. You'll get health care. Your family will be fine.
Yeah.
By the way, we're closing your factory. You know, he did the exact opposite because that's how you run a business. You just lie to the people that are in front of your face so that at the end of the day, when you close, you know, their account and fucking hand them that pink slip, they think, well, he obviously tried. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. This shit is fucking crazy and... did you see Biden called that lady, what do you call it? A dog-faced pony soldier.
Yes, dog-faced pony soldier.
I hope he's actually, you know what?
I hope he becomes president.
You know what? If it's not going to be Bernie, I hope it's him, because at least it'll be fun to watch him.
Go. He just goes, I think he might actually try to fight Trump on stage during a debate if they get one together.
Yeah.
He's just going to walk up. He's going to try to shake his hand. He's just going to give him a little face slap like he's playing. And Trump's going to be like, the fuck? And then they're both going to start fighting.
He'll do a push-up contest. Yeah. Fucking idiot. God damn, I hate Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's been a fucking idiot since he was vice president. And then, for 8 years, they were like, don't put him on TV. Don't let him say anything. Stop letting him sniff women on camera. They were just like, put the camera on Obama anyway.
Did you see Bloomberg shake the dog's face?
No.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, damn, dude. It's really funny.
He shakes the dog's whole fucking face.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He grabbed the dog by, its upper muzzle and shook it as if he was shaking someone's hand. Yeah.
God, that guy's never seen an animal in his life.
Oh, goddamn.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is he just gets to join because he has enough money.
Yeah.
And the DNC doesn't give a fuck. They sell themselves out for anyone that'll pay to fuck them. Like, yeah, so, I don't know, dude. This shit is so far off course that when you try to be a person that has empathy and wants things to go well, but you also know, hey, you can't just be a loser and get things given to you.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for you to go. And the what you would think is, oh, that makes you a moderate. No, actually, I'm an extremist on a couple different sides. That doesn't make me a moderate. That makes me principled because I actually give a fuck about this
different things.
And that and this over here and this over here. So I guess you could say, oh, you're in the middle. No, I'm extreme about everything because that's the only way to be right. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way to be right is to have opinions. That's just the way it goes. That's what gets me about moderates is they're just like, yeah, okay. And you're like, no, that's not. You're gonna. Someone's gonna sell your family into slavery. Someone's gonna lock your kids in a cage. Like,
yeah.
Don't just say okay. Don't Forrest Gump. It worked out for Forrest Gump because he signed up for Apple and had a boat. It's not going to work out for you. You're going to get AIDS. Like, that's just how it's going to work. And then there's no health care because you just kept saying okay.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do anymore.
Nah, me neither.
I see. Yeah.
That's why I'm just trying to hunker down and stay alive.
Yeah.
And try not to get wrung out for all my brain possible. Try to save it for whatever other planning that I need every other day.
Just make art. Just do.
I keep trying.
That's what I've been painting. I've been
nice.
And I suck at painting.
Fuck it.
But I'm good at it. Does that make any... Okay. I have no technical skill, but I have an image in my head, and I can make it exactly what I think, but it's like cartoonish and shitty.
Yeah.
But who gives a fuck?
That's the exact way I make music. I'm like, I hear a song in my head.
Uh-huh.
My hands are too dumb to do it right, so this is what you get.
Yeah. It's not technically proficient, but
it's me.
The emotion comes out,
yeah,
right?
It's there.
Okay. Yeah.
I have expressed myself thoroughly. That's what I feel sometimes. I'm like, okay, I have been expressed.
Uh-huh.
Whether or not this art makes it out to the rest of the world, because that's the thing. Once you give your art out to the public, it's not yours anymore.
Okay,
And that's why I don't really agree with that whole, like artists, separating the artist from the art.
Uh-huh.
Like you can, because art isn't yours. It's just not. Well, each art you consume is yours. The art isn't the artist's after it gets out to the public.
Okay.
It is up to the perception of the public, and there's no way you can control it.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, if someone thinks your art sucks, sure, they can be wrong to everyone else who consumes your art. They can be wrong to you if you're a consumer of your own art and you like it. But to them, your shit sucks, so they aren't a consumer of it, so that's...
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. You're saying, like, if someone wants to take, like, a sample of something and use it in their own thing to make it... to make a point or to... I don't even know what I'm saying. What are you...
I mean, it's just... like, aside from all laws and stuff of how art can or can't be used and stuff, to me, it's like, once someone releases, like a movie or something, that movie is not theirs anymore.
Okay.
It is now just a movie that exists. You have worked on it. It's good job. But also... it's for everyone now.
Okay.
It's not yours. It is art that exists for all people.
Okay. So do you think there's like a final bottling of it? Like when you put it out in a certain way? Because I would say if you're doing stuff at an open mic or a comedian's touring the country building material, hey, don't fucking record me and put my shit out.
Yeah.
And because it's not out yet. You know what I mean? But it kind of is because there's people witnessing it. That's the gray area that I don't know where to fall on that.
That's the tough part because to me, I think the bottling the bottling is you making it, and as soon as you express that art to the public in any way, that is you letting some of it out of the bottle. You know, like, and whether or not you can contain what vessel it went into or what, you know, like, you're already pouring it out. Like, it's happening.
Right. So it's almost like an intellectual property thing. Like, would you think that, like, Kazaa or BearShare or LimeWire, do you think that was wrong back in the day? Or
I mean, you can't fault people for wanting something in any way they can get it. You know, like, there is plenty of art that if it wasn't free, I wouldn't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that I've been able to absorb it because it was made available to me.
But that's... but it's available to you in a lot of ways because of advertisement, which we were talking about before.
Right.
So it's like... My thing is, it should be everything. There should be shit that you have to pay for, because that's how the artist wants to monetize their shit. There should be shit that it's free, not free, really, because you have to watch advertisements intermittently to get at it. And then there's shit that's just out there, just for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like... I don't know if there's anything that's right or wrong or moral or about any of those three ways of going. I think it's up to the artist, and you also got to be smart about knowing, like, oh, well, it's not always going to be exactly the way that I want it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because, like, I like that I can pay for Netflix and not have to sit through ads.
Yeah.
I like that I get to listen to podcasts without subscribing to every single one and paying them money for it. No, because they can talk about Blue Chew and I can skip through it.
We can skip forward 30 seconds and there we go.
Yeah, and I get my shit for free. Artist gets paid. I think there's probably a lot of different models that this shit should work. And I think the best thing in the world is that all of these different things get to exist at the same time.
Yeah.
So that the best one will emerge. Or not. Maybe there's merits to all of the different ways, and we don't find that out unless... You know what I mean? Like, remember when there was what was the shit? The FCC? And they get to say, like, what words you could say on TV.
Oh, yeah, that still exists.
Yeah, it does, and fine. And if you want that... for whatever merits it has, okay, pay for charter cable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I want to fucking get Netflix for free, if I want to watch YouTube, like, yeah, I think it's better that all of that exists rather than just the one fucking thing happening. Or HBO. Remember, HBO was the original fucking...
Yeah, like, oh, you have titties on this one.
Yeah.
Because you paid for it.
Yeah, right, yeah. And they made some of the best shit ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what, like... point I'm trying to make. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, in this goes for politics too, is like, I think shit's better when it's less centralized.
Yeah.
So, for all the things we were talking about, YouTube, Netflix, cable TV, all that shit, it's better that there's all these different versions because we get to run the experiment of seeing what works better, what people like, rather than it just be homogenized into one fucking thing. I kind of think that way about politics. Wouldn't it be better if we had all these different states doing their different shit, figuring out what works here, what works there, and then, I don't know, we ran the experiment. Isn't that more scientific than just have this fucking shotgun blast of policies for the entire country?
That was the original idea, is that, you know, like, we are states that have our own local governments, and we... pay taxes higher up so that the military keeps protecting all of us, you know, in so many words. But then, you know, like, then we were like, oh, well, what if we created a Federal Reserve to centralize all debt from all the states? So if this state is in debt, you know, like, this other state that has farm revenue can help pay for it, and that way we're all protected and taken care of. You can you can thank the Federalists in Hamilton for all that shit, but
it just becomes a bigger thing to be corrupted, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of these dudes that's like anti-government, but what I am anti is just the complete control and the unscientific way we test different policies. The things like weed, we're like, oh, let's hey, Colorado, yeah, fucking give it a shot, see what happens, you wacky Coloradans, and then it's fine. And now everyone does it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that don't operate that way. So we never get to find out. We never even get to try, all these different things. So I think, I don't know. That's kind of my way of looking at things.
But that's half the problem with our system is that no matter what, the way we've set it up, either it's going to be quote-unquote government controlled so that it can be regulated under one entity that everyone has eyes on and everyone gets to vote on, or it's going to be quote-unquote free market, which then fucking giant-ass insurance companies that are collecting everyone's money just get to say, no, you don't get to cross the border to go to this other company because we own this state. Or you get, cable companies like Spectrum being like, we're the only internet.
Right.
So it's like...
So wouldn't decentralizing that make it better? If
monopolies are going to exist if you don't have some sort of regulatory body. The same reason that Rockefeller took over and fucked up a good part of the East Coast for a while. No matter what, there's a constant yin and yang balance that's going to keep punching it out between, federally regulating things so that we can feel comfortable that there's somebody watching these people, or banks and insurance companies and all the money people buying out the government so that it either says that it's quote-unquote hands off, and then those companies get to take over, or they just straight up buy people to be like, insulin should be $200, it's like on a fucking Senate trial, no matter what, someone's going to get bought or someone's going to be corrupt in any system.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think if we had more different options, don't you think that would be better? And then one gets corrupt and you go, oh, fuck you, West Virginia, you got corrupt as fuck and shit sucks there. So
it's already what we have. We all know Atlanta is racist. We all know that California's taxes suck, and we all know that South Dakota hates trans people. But each one of those has their own merits. Too many people are doing meth in South Dakota, but also too many people are killing themselves in fucking Alaska. There's every state is going to have its own set of different problems and different strengths, and we can either say have fun with that and hands off all of it, or we can create some sort of large overarching government to help balance it all out in between each state to be like, sure, California has way too high of taxes, cost of living is too high, and everyone's homeless. But also, everyone in Wyoming needs entertainment.
That's the shit that scares me about it all being one giant fucking thing, though. Is we think Orange Man bad, Trump evil. Then all the fucking Democrats vote for his giant military increase.
Yeah.
So it's what good did we do by this being one giant thing? If Nevada could go, hey, fuck you and your imperialist fucking bullshit. No, we're not giving you money to go enslave other people in other countries. Then he'd have to go, oh, well, I guess I'm not getting Nevada if I'm... You know what I'm saying? Doesn't it make sense that more autonomy for more people?
Technically, that's how the representative democracy should work. But too much lobbying and too much corporate money. There's no term limits, so people can just be bought out for decades.
Eesh.
Yeah, and so we give the country money so that it can then make decisions for us, because we can't weigh in, even though we could set up an American Idol style system where we all just weigh in on fucking votes for the day. That's going to be any less corrupt than having a fucking random Chinese company pump in a bunch of poll numbers for CNN so that they can say something is more popular than it is.
Yeah.
It's
damn, this shit's fucked.
Yeah, no, it's just, the
and I'm just worried about what as fucked as it is, what gets us closer to not being fucked. You know what I'm saying? When Trump is in office, and we all fucking hate Trump, and yet all these people vote to give him more power, it's oh, this is not functioning. So what could we do to not let that happen? To let everyone that votes Democrat, and then their elected officials go ahead and fucking say, yeah, well, Orange Man bad, but he got to have more bombs, though.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What do we even do? I don't know. You want to talk about cats and fucking wiping backwards and shit?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
I don't know. As far as politics goes, the only thing that I can think of is no matter what, we technically don't matter. You know? At the end of the day, we don't matter. But that's just how it goes, though. Like, is an ant colony one thing under a hive mind, or is it a bunch of individual ants deciding they want to dig down so they can all live in a deeper hole? You know, like,
I don't know.
Am I a part of anything, or am I just an ant? You know. And that's where people get stirred up about nationalism or protecting their race because they feel they're part of a certain colony. And if it's under attack by the quote-unquote liberals, they're going to get all heated up and start attacking back, when in reality it's like, okay, maybe this other slice of people just wanted part of the pie because they're fucking dying,
Yeah.
It's too much. It's all too much.
It's too much.
But that's the thing that gets me is, there's no end to human greed. There will always be terrible atrocities committed at the hands of humanity because we exist. That's just how it's going to go.
Yeah.
So, do we want to have a system that says hospitals don't cost anything anymore? Mm-hmm. Or do we want to have a system that's just like, sometimes you'll collapse dead at your warehouse job at Amazon and NBD? Yeah. And apparently way more people are totally into that collapsing dead because quote-unquote work ethic is important. Sure, Jeff Bezos sneezes and makes $1 billion. He worked real hard for it.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, his marriage was rocky for like 5 years in the 90s. Everyone's marriage is rocky all the time right now because no one's got any fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's scary.
Humanity
it's
fucking
scary
blows.
What are we even going to talk about now to lighten this up?
Well,
Mad Libs?
I don't do Mad Libs anymore. Uh-huh. But let's see. We've already done pretty much an entire segment that I already picked out, just called "Here's a Problem," and then we acknowledge that problem in the different ways that it exists. And there we go. We've done that.
Okay.
Now. We can pick a different thing that we don't hate.
Okay.
That's my other segment that I was going to make it a whole other podcast, but I just really don't give a fuck about starting up any new shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to make things segments.
Okay.
And it was that idea of I don't hate it. Pick a random thing that you either enjoy or maybe it's not exactly your thing, but you want to just say nice things about it because technically it does exist in a way you enjoy.
Okay.
And just like something. That's the only rules. There's just no negativity here.
Okay, I'll throw this out there. And I got to couch it in negativity because that's my personality. Yeah. Everyone shits on Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, they made Baby Yoda to give fucking children something to look at.
Exactly. The same reason Jar Jar Binks existed.
But it's a good show.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like it. I like that show.
I like The Mandalorian because I like what Star Wars is doing in general with their, universe situation. Nerds can be mad about whatever. They're always mad about the thing that they like not being the exact same it was 30 years ago. Uh-huh. But the thing I like about what Star Wars is doing is they have created the Star Wars universe and it exists whether or not they like it.
Yeah.
So now they're just doing different genres of movies and shows within that universe. Mandalorian's just an old Western.
Uh-huh.
Except now it's in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, and it's fucking cool. And it's that same classic story that like True Grit was. Mm-hmm. Like rough and tumble person has to take care of this small child. A lot of people are going to die along the way, but he's still on a mission.
Right.
The end.
I loved that they did it seems so formulaic. It was going to be the robot, was going to team up with it. And then he ended up fucking saying, fuck you, robot, and killed him. But then it came back. And it was like you didn't see that happening. It seemed to me like I was gonna go, another one of these where it's gonna be and now this bounty robot teams up with a bounty hunter. And no, I like that he fucking had to, he was
get fucked.
Yeah, and then it came back because the fucking guy fixed the robot brain or programming or whatever.
That's the other thing that sure, Disney's a monopoly that we really have to watch over because it might become worrisome here if they buy out all of entertainment. But at the same time, they are now affording the best storytellers of this generation to come together and just giving them absurd amounts of money and being like, make something good.
Yeah.
Like, here's a blank check. Just make something good. We don't give a fuck what it is.
Well, and that's the thing, too, a little bit is when a giant corporation puts its fingers in the fucking pie and tells the artists what to do, that fucks everything up.
Yep.
But when they're just the money source and then artists get to do cool shit with the money, I don't understand why that's bad.
Exactly. But people don't like when artists make money because people in general don't like when people make money. Just with artists, it's visible because now their art is good. Like, or maybe not good, but more polished. People are like, oh, I miss back when it was raw and real. Like, yeah, you miss back when he had to do this camera trick because he couldn't afford CGI.
Yeah. Oh, so what do you want him to do? Make it look shitty on purpose?
Yeah.
To remind you of when you still had, hair?
That's what bothers me.
Yeah. Now, you're bald now and you want the same show you grew up with. No, you don't get that. Enjoy your old shit.
Yeah. Go watch some old people shit or go watch your old shit. Star Wars has always been for children.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you going to watch Yo Gabba Gabba and be like, the storylines used to be so much better?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
There used to be a mouse and a cat that used to be violent to each other.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
Bring that shit. Oh my god, what if they made a live action Tom and Jerry movie?
Oh, it's coming.
They ever have the cat's technology figured out? Get James Corden in there in a fucking dumb cat suit again.
Oh my god. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
I don't want to. It's not for me.
I love musicals, and that's still not for me.
It's for white women that want to pretend they have gay friends.
Yeah, or
that's who it's
college
for.
Kids on mushrooms. You know, like there's very limited sector that thing was, and it's not even well made apparently, and that's what fucking blows is they didn't even do it right. At least Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera were cool. And it's fucking.
Never paid any attention
steal
to
one of
any
these.
of that. Yeah, have another one.
Oh fuck!
What do you
breaking stuff?
What do you not hating on nowadays?
Oh man, I'm this is a piece of guitar that I'm just gonna use as a bottle opener. Maybe not. Actually, this band that I kind of enjoy just released a new album.
Okay.
They're called Spanish Love Songs. And
that's the name of the band?
That's the name of the band.
Okay.
And they released a new album, and it's kind of vaguely Midwestern emo punk situation, the exact kind of thing I'm into, but the thing that not really anyone's into at all. Like it serves a purpose, but to me it's great. It's very sad and depressing songs sang with a lot of emotion and fairly energetically.
Okay.
And so it's just like, okay, here's a mid-tempo song about this guy whose friend is back doing heroin again. Okay. It's just like it's like very real and kind of salt of the earth music, but it's got a little more money behind it now, so they can kind of do better. And I'm happy for them. So yeah, they just released a new album. I think it came out on like Friday or something.
All right. One more
Spanish Love Songs.
Spanish Love
Their
Songs.
album is called Brave Faces, everyone. And they actually released the song Losers that's in that album as part of like singles earlier last year, and I think I talked about it then. But now they re-recorded it, and it sounds super good. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, they're fucking killing it. They're out touring Europe right now with another one of my favorite bands, the Menzingers, and that pairing makes a lot of sense. But I don't know, they're just solid. Like,
who you liking in comedy nowadays?
I haven't been listening to a lot of comedy, but basically the ones from last year. I really liked Dave Ross's album. I still go back to it only because the album's called "The Only Man That Has Ever Had Sex," which already hilarious title, and his website was sex.guns.beer.
Nice,
and that's where you could buy his album. And just the whole album front to back just makes me laugh, just because he's ridiculous. He's a decent storyteller. And he's just fucking funny. And there's a lot of those like guys that are younger in the LA comedy scene right now. Like they're not selling out theaters anywhere. They can barely get into the clubs. And they still kind of like tour on their own. He's one of those guys, Sharpie, who, We've had a few shows with him around here and up in Truckee because Andrea knows him. Chris Charpentier, he just released an album last year. He's super good.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this. How do you listen to comedy albums nowadays?
Mostly Spotify.
Spotify? Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't releasing on Spotify. And in fact,
So what are they listening to?
Comedy's stale. As far as albums goes, it's all Netflix specials. Honestly, Netflix owns comedy right now.
Yeah, but that sucks because...
Yeah.
Like I was saying, they get to be the arbiter of what's good.
Yeah.
And they have a shitty track record of that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we want to only watch fucking either Hannah Gadsby or Bert Kreischer. Pick one. And you're like, I'm not in the mood for either of those. Or I guess it's more of Chappelle. Chappelle's really the one that got the big deal.
Well, my thing is like, there's still all these guys that I like that have blown up since I liked them before they were big. Mm-hmm. Not to do this thing that, you can't be good once you've achieved success. No, you could definitely still be fucking good. Bill Burr is one of the best comedians out there, I think, and he's one of the most popular. I think comedy, in a weird way, the good people either stay good or people stop giving a fuck about them.
Yeah.
They'll still get their thing on Netflix, but no one watches it if it's not good. And then there's all these other people that they want to be good, but they're not. And I don't know. I remember back in the day, it was always Pandora. I would listen to little bit by bit cut up little chunks, and then I got to know like Mulaney and Hannibal and all these people before they were famous at all.
Yeah.
And then they blow up, and I'm like, yeah, I've always liked that guy. But I don't know where to get into new people that way anymore. It's only from hearing them on a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the way it goes now. Is podcasts, you hitch yourself to a podcast network, you like comedians for the personality they portray, and then maybe you buy their album if you know who they are. Right. It's kind of going back to the way it used to be. You're like, oh, I saw that person once on late night, or I saw this one clip of them.
Oh, on the radio.
Yeah, it's like, now let's check them out. But like now, instead of the radio or late night, it's like YouTube clips or, you know, like a shuffle on like Spotify or Pandora, you know, like... That still works. It's just comedy hasn't caught up to where it actually is. Because there isn't... I mean, there is quote-unquote underground comedy, of course. There always will be.
Right.
But there's no underground comedy that's like the Nirvana of...
There's no...
Of underground, you know?
There's no way of, like I was saying with Pandora, it was like, they had some sort of algorithm that like, oh, you like Stanhope? All right. How about Sean Rouse? All right. How about fucking... Andy Andrist, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would pair people that had a similar thing going on, a similar fan base, and then you get to hear these new people that you never fucking heard of, and then you get to check out their shit. Yeah. I don't know how that exists anymore.
It doesn't really. Yeah. Comedians aren't releasing albums to release albums. They're recording specials, and there just happens to be audio that they then also release. But they're going for Netflix. They're going for Amazon. They're going for some sort of big, you know, payout. You know, like, there's nothing stopping us from recording an album, releasing it online, trying to tag it correctly, and getting in some sort of algorithm thing, except that doesn't work for comedy.
So what if you did this? What if you... I don't know how to do any of this, obviously. But what if there was just a new app that it's like, hey, when you hear someone on a podcast that you think you might like, here's a place, add their name, and you'll get, you know, the chopped up tracks from their comedy album. And then you get to hear them, and then you either like them or you don't, but whatever.
They're kind of trying that.
What, on Spotify?
Not Spotify, but, you know, like Apple Podcasts has started tagging the comedians within the podcast they're in. And you can go and find their profile that's been generated just based off of, like, if their name has been brought up in a description or a title, and then congregating all that under their quote-unquote artist profile. Which also works for Spotify because artist profiles will do the same thing. So if a comedian has a Spotify album, all the podcasts they're on are also there. And if someone is on a podcast and they've been tagged correctly, you can go to the view artist thing and it'll show you. But there's no one curating any of it. And that's the thing. There's nobody. I mean, like, that's why the All Things Comedy Network is doing as good as it is. Because, you know, like, all those guys are really good at promoting each other and being each other's distribution and hype.
Yeah. Well, they've sort of unionized in their own sort of way.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, this is, we're in the offensive comedy union. So we'll fucking promote each other's shit and we'll all get better. But what I'm saying is, like, I think that there's something pluralistic and anti-elitist about the audio media.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck's sitting around watching a Netflix special? Someone that's not working. Right? If you're working, you could have listened to Pandora, Spotify, any of these things.
That's where I found them initially, too. Yeah.
Podcasts.
I was listening to all that shit at work.
So the way that I see it is that the working person that can be listening to something while they're doing work is always going to be the place where these new and interesting artists get exposed to people, is because... Oh, what? You have a Netflix special? Well, I'm not going to invest an hour sitting on the couch watching you.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing the fucking dishes, if I'm in the middle of my work day, yeah, I could have your shit on and listen to it. So I think that there's got to be another wave to this shit. Because it seems like you need the corporate backing of Netflix to get your art out there into the ethos. And, well, what if you just had an audio recording that someone could stumble upon?
Yep.
No one stumbles upon anyone on Netflix. You have to deliberately watch it on purpose.
And even if it's like a suggest next thing, there's only ever 2 of those, and most people have the autoplay turned off. So it's like you're not going to get accidentally watched on Netflix most of the time.
Right. Whereas if you just have a couple, a 2 to 5 minute track that gets played on someone's Pandora. I guess I'm a fucking boomer because I'm a Pandora advocate.
Pandora.
But you get introduced to someone because it's the lower barrier of entry to someone getting exposed to your art. They don't have to be invested in an hour of it. They can listen to it real quick and either skip it or listen to it and then go on to the next thing, or go, who the fuck was that guy? Yeah. So, like, there's got to be something we can do.
That's something we can do. Especially even with Spotify's algorithm. I went to the new releases page on Spotify. They have comedy albums from 2014 in their new releases and in their comedy radio. It's all fucking, patent albums from 2012. Like no one's curating that shit right now like they are for literally everything else digitally online, because audio... People aren't investing the stock in comedy as an audio medium for some reason.
Which is what it is.
It's exactly what it is. And that's how most of us got into it. Is finding it, back between 2010 and 2014.
Right.
We found it digitally through either Pandora, Spotify, some sort of system that got us into wanting to listen to that and thinking it was fucking funny enough that you wanted to hear more of it.
Yeah.
No one cares about that right now because Netflix exists.
Right.
But we could, I can get my shit on Spotify. I could take a track that I recorded at the open mic on my phone, mix it down really quick, and have it up in Spotify on Friday.
So Spotify.
Anywhere. I can get it digitally distributed everywhere. Okay. And if I tag it right, we can have Pandora radio stations.
And that's the other thing, too, is making it an album.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No, yeah, we can release...
Each bit is a song. Each song is a single.
Yep.
Why the fuck are we not putting out joke by joke rather than, we got to get a room. I got to do 45 to an hour for it to matter at all. Fuck that. Get a high-quality recording of each set. If there's a 30-second thing that can go up and people can experience and like, wouldn't that be helpful?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's something, if I get people on board with it, that's something I could do with my open mic, considering that there's an actual good audience that shows up and I'm good at doing audio things. I could just record the night, take notes on what joke was good, release, five jokes from different comics, put it online, and boom. Each week, release a new thing.
To me, it's all about... We see over and over, one person has a good idea and they become a billionaire off of it. And then we all go, oh, well, I couldn't do that. Why? Why couldn't you? Because you're scared you'd fail?
Yeah.
No, just do it anyway. That's what I'm saying is, you have the fucking knowledge to do that. Why not? Why not? Because what would it cost? It would cost nothing.
It would cost a little bit.
What would it cost?
Let's see.
It would cost your time to edit.
It would cost a good amount of time. And then I think hosting singles under 5 things is like, I don't know, like $50 once and then like $20 a year for each thing that you put up there.
Oh, I will eat that for myself.
Yeah, that's why I'm like uploading dumb fucking Halloween songs, because I'm like, yeah, I can afford $70 this year to do something fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Oh, so you're already doing that?
Kinda.
So why not?
I'm not putting a lot of stock into it now, just because I don't have anyone else behind me with it.
Okay, well...
Yeah, if I'm just sitting out here yelling about myself into the void, that's weird. But if there's like 5 or 6 other people...
Well, let's just get a track. We can call it a whatever of Reno album.
Well, that's what I was trying to do with Battleborn before, because I got like the one recording thing of it.
Yeah.
But then like we didn't do those anymore, so I couldn't keep recording those. But now I finally got my room, so we can fucking post up in there and do things.
Well, let's fucking do it, because that shit's been good every single week we've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's new people that have shit that... If I was listening... There's people that are doing stand-up there that is the quality that if I was working and it came on...
It would make me laugh.
I would laugh. I would listen to it. I wouldn't skip it. I'll tell you that. I might not want to listen to the same guy for an hour, but I'll listen to your one fucking track.
Yeah, I'll listen to 2 minutes of someone saying some hilarious shit.
Exactly. I don't know, dude. I don't have the fucking wherewithal and the know-how and the time to do this type of stuff. You have no responsibilities. You're a single artist man by yourself.
I don't have the time.
What are you doing?
Music, podcasts, mostly working. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like if I could like
But you know how to do it.
I know how to do a lot of things. Like I'm real good at making bread. I don't have the time to do it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like
yeah.
There's plenty of things that if I had all the time in the world, fuck yeah, I would be doing way more things. But
you know what? Isn't it a bummer that there's rich kids?
Yeah.
That
they don't have to.
They don't have to do shit.
They don't have to do shit.
And they still
don't.
They still mostly don't. And the ones that don't have the sense of taste to acquire the amount of good. Like you would know who you would want to put what bits of on there.
I think about it every time. Yeah. Like every time I get done with a mic, I'm like, I remember specifically 3 exact moments tonight that I would love to keep reliving.
Right.
And they're gone. They're gone. They're for the birds.
Well, maybe I'll go to maybe I'll go to community college and learn about audio editing. And...
We can start small. We can start small. I can get, because I already need to buy a little mobile recorder anyway. Because I was going to do that for backups or podcasts in case this thing shits the bed again. I don't lose the entire fucking hour or 2 that I was recording.
It could just be a slightly lower quality audio.
But so I can do that. I can clean it up in post, make it sound decent, and we can have people that sign on early. We can have a few people to sign on, and we can get different best of. For a month, like each month released a new best of with 5 or 6 comics featured on it. Give them 2 bits each, or something.
Yeah.
That way they actually care about it happening. Because, half these motherfuckers are so up their own ass. They're not going to care if I do something for free for them, which is the entirety of pretty much how I exist all the time.
That's putting on an open mic.
Yeah. So, I want people that would actually appreciate it to be on there, but also someone that's actually going to, tell other people that they did a thing and be proud of a product that they have helped put out.
Right.
I don't get that most of the time. Most of the people that do comedy around here right now hate comedy just because the last 3 years have existed. Hasn't been easy. Has not been easy. I'm surprised you're not fully defeated yet.
I just love it too much.
Yeah,
man.
you love it. That's what I like, is you always come back to it. Like, you'll take a month or 2 off to be like, I have to focus on something, and then you'll come back and like, yeah, I can't stop.
No, it's the funnest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's what I realize over time is, people that are scared to... I don't know. I'm not scared to be... I'm probably going to try to have another kid. Because I've had one... And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you didn't fuck it up when you accidentally did it.
Well, but that's
pretty
the thing.
much.
That's the thing is yeah, when I accidentally did it, and it's still been this fucking fun. Under the worst conditions possible.
Yeah,
it's still been fucking amazingly fun. So whenever anyone's like, oh, I don't know, start having kids, having a family, it's like,
you'll figure it out.
No, if it sucks, it's your fault.
That's
You're
true.
the dad. That's the thing I don't understand about people that are in bad relationships or can't find themselves someone to be with. It's like, well, dude, the people are out there. It's you.
Yeah.
It's you that can't hold it together.
I'm going to say a majority of humanity's problems are all self-inflicted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sure, there is a great amount of oppression and terrible atrocities happening in the world, but like day to day, the shit that happens that affects you is mostly your fault. Like,
no,
or it's at least perception.
I'm not this like bootstraps, pull up the bootstraps, fix. But
sometimes shit sucks.
But my shit is, what can you do that, in spite of all your troubles, will make it better than it'll make it worse? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think wallowing in self-pity helps anyone.
Nope.
If you want to take the shit that life gives you and make someone else's life better, good. Mm-hmm. If you want to take the shit that life gives you and make your own life better, good. But the only thing that doesn't help anyone is just being a bummer all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, maybe you deserve that, but you can't exist forever in that space.
Yep.
At some point, you gotta...
Like, it's fine to look in the mirror and say, like, today sucked and I feel shitty about it.
Yeah.
But to carry that through the whole day, being like, everything sucks and I'm useless. Well, fucking do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... That's why I had to stop with the self-deprecating comedy.
Okay.
Like, I can't, like, I used to love... I still love Kyle Kinane to an extent, but even he's sick of himself existing. Because he essentially started the whole, like, oh, I hate myself and I'm self-destructive and look how shitty I am and isn't that great? Like, it's not fucking great.
Well, and I listen to his shit too, and I don't know how long we've been going, but
it's been a little like 75 minutes.
Here's what I'll say is that you gotta eventually not grow up, but it's...
If you spend all day complaining about yourself, that's the one thing you can change.
Yeah.
So if you spend 5 years complaining about yourself, that means it's still your fault. Like, no matter what, it's your fault after that much time.
For him, he's all about like not like starting a family or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know what your hobbies are? You like to go and ride your bike and play with RC cars.
Yeah.
You know who would really love that?
Child.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't understand what freedom you think you're losing when if you find someone you love, you're not tied down. You just found the person that being not tied down allows you to find.
Yeah. That's
the whole fucking purpose of it. And then you make a person with that person, and then it's fucking awesome because you're in control and you can make their life great, and you have a little buddy to fucking do all your fun shit with. So
many people think of having a child like suddenly now you have this egg you have to take care of and it can break at any time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, maybe for like a few years, but then after that, it's just a tiny person. Like at a certain point, their problems are also just theirs, and there's nothing you can do about it because the world's going to happen to them.
Right.
So you just got to be fucking cool. Like, just keep being cool, having activities, and showing them how to live life, and they will also figure out how to live life because you are leading by example.
Yeah. I don't understand the sense of like, well, I figured it out, but someone that I am raising won't? Mm-hmm. That makes no fucking sense.
Or especially the people that are just like, they're like, like my parents fucking fucked me up and I don't want to do that to someone else. I'm like, well, then don't, because there's no way you can be like your parents unless you're exactly like your parents, in which case you should have done more fixing of yourself, more self-reflection, or identify those things that you don't like about yourself and either actively try to stop doing them or just accept them and be like, well, I do kind of suck sometimes. Sorry. Like, pick a lane and do it. But like... You can't blame a child. You can't blame a child for showing you how shitty you're being if you accidentally have one and you suck at it.
Oh, yeah.
It's still your fault, and people don't want to have that responsibility, but you suck independently of whether or not you have a child. Yeah. I was just like, if you think you're going to suck as a parent, that's because you as a person just suck, which means, like, fucking get better. Because obviously, like, if a child that loves you implicitly doesn't want to hang out with you, why do other people?
Isn't the whole goal to become a type of person that can shepherd a young one into a happy adult existence? Isn't that kind of the whole thing that humanity's been about forever?
Yeah, and if it's not about, your own progenitors, then it's going to be about other people.
So that's my other thing, too, is that there's such this, like, movement of, like, it's overpopulation, people. Okay. My thing is, like, okay, well, if we don't make people that are going to have our beliefs and our views, we lose. Because the fucking Republicans are fucking away. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. Our side, for whatever that means, continuously shoots ourselves in the foot by being like, I'll live and die without making someone else that has a similar worldview. Oh, we lose? Big surprise.
All right, new long con. Only adopt babies from very Republican gerrymandered districts so we can take their children and turn them into us.
Fuck.
Good times.
Yeah, we're the worst, aren't we?
Yeah.
Ain't I a stinker?
Yeah, you see, that's the problem, though, is everyone likes us. So
that is demonstrably false. Everyone fucking hates us.
That's true.
That's why we're alone together.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thanks for hating us for upwards of 80 minutes today.
Yeah. How much of your listenership is hate listens, do you think?
I don't know, because I only hear positive feedback.
Really?
Which is, I've had a few negative feedbacks from positive people, but, like, I don't know. Like,
that indicates to me slow, sustainable growth.
Yeah, because to me, either I have enemies and they can't fucking touch me because they're too weak, which is amazing for me, or I don't have enemies, which is kind of weird, because like, for how jovial and fun I am still very opinionated about a lot of things and people, and I don't really hide it.
Yeah.
So, like... like either I don't have enemies, which is wonderful, or they're never going to touch me because I'm too great.
Dude.
So I'm just going to keep fucking shining, man.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. Like, if you don't like me, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. I've convinced other people to make sure that you're wonderful.
Well, it's such a narcissist way to see the world. If you don't like me, you're a piece of shit. Well, I've ran the self-loathing algorithm long enough to know what was wrong, and I've changed enough of it that I don't have that as much.
If anyone wants to listen to any of my podcasts from 2019, you'll know what negative things exist about me. And now I'm like, okay, I've identified those things. Oh, guess what? I only got cooler. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Now I run the best open mic in the city. So that's fucking...
Truthful.
Sorry, everyone else, but fucking go to mine. It's fucking dope, dude. Every time I get done with it, I'm like, yo, why is it so good? Bunch of people showed up, comedy and audience. Fuck. It's cool. Come out to Coffee and Comics every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I've got a show I might want you to hop on, but we can talk about that off mic.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's close this. Let's land this bird.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the show. Right now, I still have that voicemail line if anyone wants to call in. But right now, what I did is I did a bunch of weird online surveys, and I gave them the podcast number. So I just have a bunch of voicemails about, like, term life insurance. Those aren't as fun as I thought they'd be, though. But the people do sound very desperate, so maybe I'll play some one of these days. If anyone wants to call in at 775-391-0679. Sam, you got anything you want to plug and or talk about?
Yeah, whatever show you're about to put me on.
Hell yeah.
That's the next thing I have to plug.
No, I mean, I might have gone over the details a little bit on mic previously, but nothing's set in stone totally. But everyone keep March 28th in mind.
Save the date.
Save the date, everyone. March 28th. It's going to be an event. I'm gonna put on a spectacle. It'll be funny. It won't be specifically pure stand-up, but it will be a fun spectacle for everyone. So come on out to that March 28th. I believe I just got added to good old Same Problems show at Mellow Fellow on the 19th of this month. Oh. So come on out to Mellow Fellow on the 19th. I will be providing microphones and comedy.
All right.
So,
hey, how often? I haven't been seeing that they are having new episodes.
Yeah, we have not been on that too hot.
I've been wanting to do that show with Kate and I don't think she's been on one for a while. So I don't know. That would be cool if we could put that together. Let me know next time they're coming out.
I will. In fact, I'll just tell them both that that's going to happen. I'm really gonna have to start producing some of these people. Where I'm like, okay, I have to also fucking schedule this too.
I know that it's not the most fun way to be a creative person, but sometimes
it's what's needed, and that's why I did it.
Sometimes wrangling fun things to happen that never would have is as beautiful as a creative endeavor as anything else. So
like people loved Harvey Weinstein until he did all those terrible things. And I want to be the Harvey Weinstein of comedy.
You want to be a Benevolent Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also my rap name is Benevolent Weinstein.
Yeah,
all right, that's enough podcast. I'll see you motherfuckers later. Thanks for coming on, Sam.
Bye. Love you.